Hi, my name is Daniel Barker. I'm back again talking about my role in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm a voice actor and a comedian, and I'm going to answer some more questions.
In more ways than one, this flabby sack of cow juice reminds me very much of myself. It's dynamic, it's modern, it's flexible, and it's incredibly white. I am Morgan Freeman. I have been traveling in other people's minds since I was a little boy.
Huh? Oh, get a load of this. Our beloved mascot, Tartars! Reveal yourself! Tartars? Tartars? Tartars! Where are you, boy? Tartars!
One of the things that really stuck out to me when I was trying to do a little bit of research and all that fun stuff was you having a background in making music and remixes. So I'm wondering You've
dug up old graves. Yeah.
Oh, of course, gotta get just all the skeletons. I'm wondering if, it seems like you're maybe not quite as active with it as you used to be, but I was wondering if you still dabble with it from time to time.
Yeah, well, I did a bit of dabbling recently, and sometimes if I want to kind of get my head out of trying to write a comedy or do something else, then I'll have a kind of spurt of making tracks for fun. And I made a couple of songs recently, very cheesy, but it was great. I had a really good creative surge, actually. I kind of got back into the kind of trance. I use Fruity Loops, so I'm getting to a kind of trance it's like a kind of game, really a puzzle game, and it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and you hit a kind of problem about 75% of the way in, and it's like, how do you make the track work? And yeah, I mean, I did it for 3 years, and I was doing it at university, and then I signed a publishing deal as soon as I got out of university, and then kind of did that professionally, really, when I was in my early 20s, from 20 to 23. It was I thought that was what I was going to do, but yeah, in the end, I kind of ran out of money, basically, after living off it for 3 years. But the highlight was, the story goes, that they sent Lana Del Rey to my house at one point, before she was famous.
Yeah, that was Boom Like That, I think.
That's my claim to fame in music. She came to my mum's house, you know what I mean, and sat on the floor and was recording her vocals for our track. Needless to say, the track didn't really materialize, but I've got the stems.
Hey, I mean, at the very least, gives a great story. So
it was bizarre, absolutely surreal. I mean, I didn't realize at the time where she was going to go at all. I just thought, she'd made some cool songs, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know how to properly record on a mic at that point. This was like 2010 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as easy as it is now.
Oh, for sure. Especially, I've seen a little bit of Fruity Loops. I think the most recent version I saw was like the 2016 one, but I can't even imagine kind of what the interface and stuff would have been like in 2010, 09.
To be honest, it hasn't really changed a great deal.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much exactly the same. It is just such a rudimentary program. It's just, is that the right word? I'm slightly hungover. Bear with me.
No problem.
Yeah, it's very simple, but you can, you get good at it. You can make amazing things happen on it. So somehow I managed to get to that point, having no musical training or anything, just basically being a Fruity Loops nerd. Just sat in my room in my first year at university, basically just doing that because I hated everyone so much.
Can relate. That was basically me in college, except with video editing and playing video games instead. Now, with your experience producing music, would you say that any of those skills have transferred over and helped your voice work out at all?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have been able to get into voiceover if I hadn't learned how to produce and manipulate sounds on my computer. I wouldn't have been able to make my own voice reel, which I did make. That was after the music career. I worked full-time in unrelated jobs for 2 years. And it was only after doing that 2 years I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And I just bought a 7D and I filmed myself and recorded myself and put myself out there. But if it wasn't for having the equipment that EMI had bought for me, I wouldn't have been able to make my reel. It probably would never have happened. I would never have entered that world, and I've been doing that for the last 6 years from that point. Mm-hmm. So it is essential, and also it all comes down to the same thing, which is just having an ear for something, an ear for sounds and textures. I don't know. I was doing drama and then I did music, but even when I was doing drama, I was always obsessed with doing voices and always getting told not to do it by every drama teacher or whatever, because it was always my default thing would be to just put on a voice that wasn't my own, instead of just being me like I am now. But you know.
Yeah. Always enjoying that state of play pretend. But no, man, that's really cool to hear. I always really enjoy the stories where the person's life experiences just kind of snowball and directly lead to where they are currently.
Yeah. Well, it started, actually, I can show you this thing here, you see. This tape recorder here.
Oh, wow.
That was the first, I got that when I was about 5. My mum gave it to me. And she just put it in the back of the car when we were driving around, and I'd record, you could record into the speakers on it. So I was just press record and speak into the speakers as a child. And I'd be recording myself doing impersonations of cars. So do a Mercedes like this, or do a Ford like that, or whatever. And it was like, I was basically just left to learn and experiment with doing voices from very early on. And then I started performing to my class at school, and it kind of, it was all over that tape recorder, really. But I might, just that, I was left with it. My mum put it in front of me, and that was it. It's very bizarre. About 25 years later, I was hearing my own radio show come out of it. I mean, so it is kind of a crazy trip, but just a single little interest that's been running there throughout my life. And I suppose that's, like a lot of voice actors, it's a kind of a weird thing to do. It's a strange, dark art that not a lot of people get into. And I think it is something that they do start doing young, a lot of them.
Gotcha.
It's interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it really does seem almost mandatory for people to have that love for voiceover start at just a really young age to see through with it and devote the sort of time it takes to become a pro.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though. With all this experience you've had from impersonating cars to producing this sort of music, have you settled on any go-to vocal warm-up before gigs? And is there any chance we could peep into that, or is just a lot of like?
If I know I'm going to a commercial, I always just say, "But just $4.99, but just $4.99, but just $4.99, but just $4.99," and I'll just keep doing that over and over and over again. Or this summer, one man. I do the kind of try and get the movie trailer voice going, because it just helps. It helps get the gravel. And I vape, so you got to get rid of that phlegm,
Oh, for sure. Although maybe that helps with some of the charm. Adds a little texture.
Yeah, I mean, with Zeke, it helps because of the you want your throat to be tight, because it's wispy, so it's fine for that. But a lot of voiceovers smoke, a lot of them do. You go to a party, they're all smoking. I mean, your voice never sounds better than when you wake up hungover and you've been smoking cigarettes. I mean, it sounds beautiful. It really does.
I have noticed that. I've always enjoyed my voice the most when I have just woken up. So maybe, I'm like the world's biggest weeb, so there's a little bit of less the smoking and the drinking going on. But yeah, no, definitely some truth to it for sure.
Yeah, if you want to get that texture, that's what you've got to do. If you ever find yourself needing to do that.
Remember, kids, you want that good voiceover? Just heckin' vape it up. Disclaimer: ArchTalko does not condone smoking. Please do not. I love that though, man. I mean, I guess does this essentially confirm that Zeke is indeed the biggest of hipsters? Because we do already know that Zeke's voice itself kind of originates from your YouTube channel's hipster character, but just the image of Zeke going ham on the good smoke stick. It's a mental image that I think I'm gonna cherish. I think I really enjoy it.
Yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, you can confirm that. Yeah, I mean, I hate the fact that I vape. I mean, it's just so douchey, But you got to embrace it. It's like either I mean, I might still die of cancer. That's the bitch, I might just get cancer anyway. But I'd rather, maybe die of a heart attack as a douche than die of cancer and not be a douche.
I mean, to be fair, I would take the vape over someone actually smoking like an actual cigarette any day, because I feel like the water vapor is just a lot less intrusive, not nearly as smelly, and at least I think I'm not getting cancer from being around it. I think I'm just so lame, man. I don't know anything about it. I'm a dweeb through and through. What do you do?
Yeah, I always apologize in advance to everyone around me when I vote. I mean, I'm so sorry that I'm this person, but it's happened. I never wanted it to happen, but it happened.
No problem, man. No problem.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Xenoblade 2, we know that your best girl is Pyra. And I gotta say, very good taste. Some good stuff right there. But I'm kind of curious, if we were to factor in the fellas into the equation, would you still say Pyra would be your favorite character? Or is there like a separate kind of all-encompassing character that's your go-to?
What do you mean by fellas? Bad guys?
Oh, fellas, like the boys.
What do you mean by fellas?
I should say, not...
Oh, I see. Well, definitely be Zeke. Are you talking about aside from Zeke?
Yeah, we could say like excluding Zeke, for sure.
Who else have we got? What are my options? Give me a suggestion.
Well, we do have our main boy Rex, Mr. Salvager's Code himself. We have Dromark, the true OTP with Zeke,
yeah, right.
as you did confirm with our boy JRPG, which, by the way, side note, if you haven't actually seen Daniel's interview with JRPG, definitely go ahead and check that out. It's a really good time. Lots of really good info there. But we have Malos. We have Jin.
Oh, yes. Jin. He's the badass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think he's brilliant. I also like his vocal performance as well.
Yeah, I think that was John Schwab, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, just nailed it out of the park for sure.
Yeah, I really like that character, actually. Yeah, very satisfying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy the characters that get the tragic backstories, but at the same time aren't excused for like everything that they've done just because of that. And I feel like Xenoblade 2 handled that pretty well. So.
Yes, no, it's got a lot of good kind of dramatic tension and what's the phrase? When someone is, I can't remember the word now, that's how hungover I am. When someone is an adversary or whatever.
Oh,
whatever that kind of tension is.
Oh, like an antagonist?
Ah, yes, that's right. Antagonism.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, a great sense of antagonism there. I like that.
Well, I'm really sorry to say this, man, but this was actually a test, and I'm disappointed that there's no mention of dear, sweet, beautiful baby boy Turtles.
That's terrible. Yeah, I should have said more about Turtles.
You know, unfortunately, I do believe that this will cause your status within the House of Turtles to be revoked. You're still more than welcome to be an apostle, of course, but I do think your title as deacon has been revoked, unfortunately.
I'll have to try and earn it back somehow.
Well, I mean, all we can do is just continue to spread the good word. And then, who knows, maybe one day we can be redeemed. Because, I mean, I'll have to work for it too. I'm just as responsible for this tragedy. You know, I'm just as liable. But who knows, maybe we'll pull a Jin and just have a really solid redemption arc.
It's an amazing idea. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? Yeah, so I'm a huge Turtles fan. Anything I can do to regain my entry. If it means buying an actual tortoise, then, you know, I'll look into that.
There we go. Yeah, you. How old were you when you had your pet tortoise?
Oh, that was, well, I say I had. I mean, it was for a day, you know, in Greece, and there's a lot of them there, and especially by the river there that goes into the sea. So found one there, and just basically hanging out with him for about a day. There are some photos somewhere. There's a photo of the river here, actually. There you go.
Oh wow. Okay.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I would say Zeke's pretty well known at this point for being the sort of lovable idiot character, or sorry, this lovable shellhead, I should say. And I feel like just you know, watching through your own content, I feel like there's kind of these bits and pieces of that sort of lovable, completely oblivious attribute to a lot of the characters that you perform. And so I'm wondering if you get a lot of acting roles for these sorts of Zeke-esque characters, or like if not, if you had any specific voiceover type that books you the most kind of gigs.
I don't know, the parts I've had in TV, the TV I have done have been, one was like a Devonshire kind of drug dealer. It was a very small part. Another part was playing like a YouTuber, a really nerdy YouTuber, in something called Please Like. And that was kind of, he was definitely oblivious, but yeah, I mean, voiceover wise, I suppose it's usually, you know, to do a range of voices for one thing, or just doing straight down the line advertising type voice, you know, that kind of thing. So it's, Yeah, well, I think when I make my own stuff, yeah, they're all usually deluded or ignorant in some way, or living in a bubble or in denial. And yeah, those are inherent. All comedy characters are in some way, aren't they? So they've always appealed to me. And yeah, they're all aspects of myself. So, and then there are different zones in me where different forms of denial exist. But at least I'm able to see those. I start with a voice, and then I kind of paste a character over the voice, or I think about what the voice is telling me about the character, and then usually it turns out that that character is actually me kind of expunging a part of myself or a version of myself I will occasionally fall into. Even the mineral water critic character I do, I mean...
First up on the list, a family favourite, Volvic. It's feminine, it's bold, it's stretchy, it's got a wee touch of apple. Tastes like water.
That character emerged, firstly from the voice, but then I was hungover one day, actually, again, and I realised that I loved the mineral water I was drinking. It was a Turkish water called Saka. I suddenly realised that I actually was really into mineral waters and did have a palate for them. And then I decided to buy every single mineral water I could find on the internet. And I was like, actually, this is kind of me. I am actually that pretentious. I do have that weird and ridiculous taste for mineral water. It exists within me, and it's inherently funny. So I'm going to, post about it on Facebook as me. And I saw that people loved how ridiculous and pretentious and stupid that was. And I was like, right, that can be the character for that voice, and I'll let that part of me come out. And of course, it's a joke, but it's also serious, which is bizarre.
That's really cool to hear, actually. Fun fact, my first introduction to you was actually about 1.5 years ago, where I actually had gone on this massive Ashens sort of phase. So I was watching a bunch of his stuff, and I saw that there's this collaboration with this Damien Slash fellow,
really?
Ideas
Yeah.
Man. And so yeah, watched all of that, had loved it to death, and immediately binged the... What's that?
The Ideas Man. Yeah.
Yep. Adrian Childs, still probably one of the greatest videos on YouTube of all time. So
you know who Adrian Childs is?
That's the thing. I actually had to Google who he was after the video, because yeah, I could not put a picture to the name. But no.
Yeah, we're actually considering doing some more of that, but it's very difficult because we don't live near each other.
Oh, gotcha.
But I really find it. I love it. I love making it. I love watching it. And I just think it's always relevant, because there are people like that out there trying to solve these big problems. So yeah, I'm glad you've seen that.
Yeah, well, and so Ideas Man is what had introduced me to your channel, and it was specifically the mineral water review series that had me subscribing to you back in, I think it was like 2016, 2017. But then fast forward to the end of 2017, I'm playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 2, this beloved JRPG continuation off of my favorite game of all time, Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm scrolling through the IMDb to just, to kind of take a look at the voice actor list and all that fun stuff. And lo and behold, I scroll down, I see Daniel Barker as the voice actor for Zeke. And I just, like, everything had come full circle at that point, and my mind was blown. Just like that.
It is so random. It's just like such a strange circle. I mean, it's absolutely bizarre. Ideas Man, Ashens, Zeke, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I mean, I haven't got a clue how that's occurred. But that's the amazing thing about reality, right? I mean, these things are constantly happening, and it's like, God, you realize it's chaos, absolute chaos out there.
For sure. Well, speaking of chaos, I guess my sort of role on like my YouTube channel is that I just kind of carry on the conversations with myself about them good old video games for 30 minutes to half an hour, or 30 minutes to an hour or so, and it's kind of had this weird effect on me where I'll just start having conversations with myself out loud as I'm doing things for long stretches of time.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering, with you also kind of revolving around talking to yourself and having so many of these interesting characters sort of within you, if you ever do the same sort of thing, you end up finding yourself having conversations between characters or different voices. And
I mean, yeah, that's the only way to come up with anything. And the problem is, it makes me feel like I'm going it's crazy. And it is it can go on for hours. I'll set up my camera in this room or wherever, and I'm like, I'm going to go for 2 hours, basically just making stuff up. And I am just talking to myself. I mean, or if I'm making an Edinburgh show or a live show or whatever, the only way to start is to talk to yourself. I mean, you can sit down and try and write it, but it's quicker to just get up and workshop it. And that involves, having conversations with yourself, just talking nonstop, and just after a certain point, good stuff starts to come out, like original ideas and ridiculous characters, and the good stuff starts flowing. And then the problem is, it's just, I don't know, emotionally demanding, I think. It's very lonely and peculiar. And you look like absolutely bonkers. I mean, sometimes I go for a walk to try and get some inspiration, or if I'm trying to learn lines or something I've written, and I'm just walking around just talking out loud, and I look completely insane. I mean, I look like I've got schizophrenia.
Yeah, exactly. I completely feel that pain, man. My biggest thing is when I'm commuting to work, both going to and from work, I always get in this habit of pretending I'm like commentating for either a video or as of lately, pretending that I'm conducting an interview with someone, and I'll get really into it, and I'll be like super involved, and I'll like play both sides, and then I'll just look over, and there's someone like next to me in the other lane, or someone walking down the street, or someone just passed me down the road, and I feel like they'll look at me, and I'm just doing all these wildly exaggerated motions with my arm, and I'm just like talking nonstop, and there's clearly no one else in the car with me, and I feel like I'm getting judged very much. Now, it is within the confines of my car, so it's probably not as pronounced as like going out for a walk. But yeah, it very much feels like a symptom of creating videos and having these different personas. Even if you only have, like me, 1 or 2, that's not even really a different character per se, but more just like an exaggeration of your current self. But it feels like the symptom from creating videos, or I guess just creating media in general. It's not just limited to videos. But I am curious, of the videos that you've made, how many on average would you say you've done in the style of, improvise for an hour or 2 and then cut down and post? Or I guess inversely, I could ask, like on average, how many videos do you end up actually scripting out, or at the very least writing an outline for?
I used to make them all the time, and when I started, and then I would literally, I'd film whatever, and then I just cut it together, and everything there is made up on the spot. I mean, nearly all of it, and some of the later videos too. It all comes purely from improvisation. There's some things you can tell I've written, like I did a banker monologue. But yeah, weirdly, a lot of the other things are just spontaneous, and they've usually come after, maybe I put on a pair of glasses or something snopes off, and then I'm talking for say 10 minutes, but I'm able to pluck out 3 minutes of a character. And the character's almost built in the edit on the computer, and the shape of what the piece of writing emerges in post, not before. So you're doing it. It's like reverse cooking a steak. You know what I mean? You sear it at the end. You put it in the oven, and then you sear it at the end, not the other way around.
Gotcha.
Do not do it the other way around.
Gotcha. Well, would you say that would even apply to stuff like your recent BBC radio special?
Yeah, actually, a lot of the characters in that were from what I created on YouTube and from those improvisations and explorations. And then actually for a lot of the other stuff, pretty much all the rest of it, I sat down and wrote. Like I am at the moment, I just got up and I just had to write maybe one thing a day. That was my goal. And then after a couple of weeks, you've got 10, 15 things. And then you can start to kind of refine through. But I think it did require writing and a bit of a more logical approach with that show, because there was a lot of improvised content in there already. So I had to kind of give it a bit more writing, because I think I'm getting to an age now where I kind of have to do more writing. I can't just be making it all up on the spot. It's like I actually enjoy the process of writing now. So. Oh yeah.
Well, and you have a little bit of experience with like writing plays and all that fun stuff to begin with. Is that right?
How deep what have you been looking at? Yeah, maybe it is out there somewhere. Yeah, well, I wrote a play when I was 18. Yeah, and I was part of this Royal Court Young Writers Festival training program, and then kind of got selected to be part of the Royal Court Young Writers Festival. And I was the youngest there. I was quite young because I'd written this play about my family situation at the time. Yeah, I should have written another one after that. I should have really gone for it. Really, I was encouraged to, but I got distracted. I was making comedy stuff on MySpace, and I was getting kind of a few followers there. That was a long time ago, and then I was making music as well. But yeah, actually on MySpace, at one point I was above Russell Brand.
Oh wow!
On MySpace.
Yeah, I mean that's
back in the very early days when the comedy section of MySpace was kind of like a ghost town. I was on there so early that I was kind of picking up quite a few people around the country at the age of 18, 19. That was kind of why I stopped the playwriting. But I wrote another play a few years later. But it's something I would like to do at some point. I've got to I don't know. I've got to go through some kind of transition. I feel it coming, but I don't know.
You don't want to force it.
It's important to allow yourself to change naturally, I think.
For sure. Yeah, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah, it's nice to be asked.
Well, no, it's really cool to hear, and definitely if it is something that you're pursuing in the future, all luck to you. I'll definitely be tuning in to whatever it ends up being.
Great. No, it's nice to be for you to take an interest, I have to say, or anyone. That's great.
Yeah. Well, I think just to kind of wrap things up, you probably this is the most stereotypical interview question you could probably be asked, but do you have any advice for aspiring YouTubers, or I guess aspiring actors, voiceover agents in general?
For YouTubers, I mean, I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world. I've got 12,000 subscribers. I mean, and I've been doing it. I've had a channel for 7 years. So
I mean, it's still a lot better than me. So just gonna throw that one out there. Hey, if you're watching this, hey, feel free to subscribe, please. I'm begging you.
Don't take too much advice from me. But of course, we all know if you want to build up subscribers and be successful on YouTube, just make a video every day. That's it. And just stop caring about quality. Just make whatever it is. I mean, you could just slap yourself in the face once a day for a year and you'll get more subscribers than me. Just find a format that allows you to do that every day and stop caring about what anyone thinks. And you will have success on YouTube to some extent. And you can worry about quality later. That's the key. That's the algorithm. That's what you want to do. And obviously, don't say anything that YouTube disagrees with politically, or you might as well just give up now.
Oh, I mean, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's just a given. Right?
Yeah, make sure you conform to their politics and, just hope for the best. And you should be fine. Voiceover-wise, I don't know. If you think, I think if you can do it or not. If you find yourself impersonating adverts and people saying, wow, that sounds just like an advert, or you enjoy it that much, then get yourself a mic, get yourself a USB interface, find some software to record with, learn how to process the vocals with a little compressor or something. It's the bare minimum is what you need to know. And then start taking copy from adverts you've seen on YouTube or wherever else, find it on the internet, get some music behind it. And it's fun, create adverts with your voice, string them together, and then, find out who the agents are and send it out. And if you don't get any luck, then, I would say make some noise. I mean, it's easy to just say all this, but I think the key lesson is to not be afraid to take a risk and take a gamble and, really stop caring so much about the outcome. Because I didn't do it for a long time because I just thought, I'm never going to get anywhere with that. It's hopeless. I wanted to do it, but I thought, no one's ever going to want me. It's a dream. They're never going to listen to my reel. And then I kind of hit rock bottom and I was like, well, I've got nothing to lose and I'm going to do it. And I had some encouragement too from a friend of my mum's and my mum herself, and I had just enough encouragement to make me do it. And so if you don't have that encouragement, none of us do, take it from me. Just, if you think you have half a chance, it's worth taking it and give yourself the encouragement, because that's what's missing. Oh yeah, just a little bit of encouragement.
Well, definitely, that seems to kind of be the common thread of a lot of advice you'll hear is just it's taking that first step and kind of even going to your YouTube advice. Not even being that worried about the quality firsthand, just taking the step to actually do something, because the quality comes over time as you keep doing it.
Yeah, and you've got to walk through that wall of rejection and doubt and pain, and then you become completely free. and you got nothing to lose, and that's intoxicating for everyone else. But that's how I started out. I mean, I was much more like that then than I am now. I'm a lot more scared and locked and creatively blocked now than I've ever been. But at the beginning there, I was, I just did not care. I had nothing to lose, and it was such a powerful place to be because I had yet to be judged, and I didn't. Just being judged was the objective. Just enough encouragement to believe that judgment would be okay. So that's it. I think sometimes you're just missing a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, no, it's really incredible how much power just a couple nice words can give to someone.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's gonna be a wrap. Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time out to hang out and talk a little bit about Xenoblade and talk a little bit just about your career, the behind the scenes look at everything leading up to Xenoblade and hopefully afterwards too.
Very interesting, very fun.
Yeah, yeah. What are the best ways that we can reach out to you and follow you?
I'm most active on Instagram at the moment, then probably Twitter every now and then, YouTube, but the social media app that I use the most now is usually Instagram. I do a lot of Instagram stories and stuff like that. And then Twitter. I guess Facebook, occasionally I post on my page there, Damien Slash. I do plan on making some more YouTube videos, pretty soon. It's something I want to do. And I need to start doing something every day, Follow my own advice, for Christ's sake. But yeah, sure, that's where you can find me.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'll be sure to include links down in the description below. Definitely check them out. And
cool.
Again, thank you so much, man.
Cheers, lovely to meet you. Take care.
Yeah, cheers.
See you later.
Yep, see ya. I may have forgotten to ask him for an outro, but you know what? No, it's cool. Here we go.
Hey, chum, it's me, Zeke. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe. Why do I sound like an old man? This is so bad. Forgive me, Pot. Oh, I'm done.